Bonn, AFP. World leaders shared the spotlight with a 12-year-old Pacific Islander on Wednesday, November 15, to drive home a plea for urgent climate action despite the Trump administration's rejection of a planet rescue plan. UN Chief Antonio Guterres, French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Angela Merkel led the diplomatic push in Bonn, but it was a small boy with a big smile who got the message across. My home, my school, my source of food, water, money was totally destroyed. My life was in chaos. Timosai Naulusala, whose village in Fiji's Tailevu province was hit by a devastating cyclone last year, told hundreds of delegates including some 25 heads of state and government. My once beautiful village is now a barren and empty wasteland. Climate change is here to stay unless you do something about it. The boy received rousing applause before shaking hands with some of the most powerful people in the world and posing for photographs at the 23rd annual round of UN climate talks. The leaders descended on Bonn to re-energize negotiations hamstrung by America's rejection of the 2015 Paris Agreement. They were met in the morning by anti-fossil fuel protesters waving posters proclaiming, "Clean coal is a dirty lie and stop corporate capture of the climate." The Paris Pact, which Donald Trump announced in June the U.S. would abandon, took more than 2 decades to negotiate and envisions a drawdown of Earth-warming greenhouse gas emissions from burning coal, oil, and gas. Labeling climate change the defining threat of our time, Guterres told delegates that continued investment in fossil fuels made no financial sense and was counterproductive. We must stop making bets on an unsustainable future that will place savings and societies at risk, he said. Macron, for his part, described climate change as the most significant struggle of our time, and urged European countries to open their wallets for the UN's IPCC Climate Science Panel, which is facing a critical budget shortfall. Trump cut funding to the IPCC, to which the U.S. traditionally contributed about $2 million $27 million, a year, representing almost half of its 2016 budget. A collaboration of thousands of experts worldwide, the panel issues reports every few years and is widely considered as the authority on global warming science. I can guarantee that starting in 2018 the IPCC will not be short a single euro, Macron said to loud applause. Merkel agreed climate change was if not the, central challenge of mankind, adding the world must stand together to implement the Paris Agreement. The pact commits countries to limiting average global warming to under 2 degc over Industrial Revolution levels, and 1.5 degc if possible, to avert calamitous climate change-induced storms, drought and sea level rises. To bolster the agreement, nations submitted voluntary commitments to curb emissions. But the 1 degc mark has already been passed. A report on Wednesday said America's withdrawal would boost global temperatures, calculated on current country pledges, by nearly half a degree Celsius by 2100, for a total of 3.2 degc. To widespread disappointment, Merkel said the shift away from fossil fuel was not always that easy.